You see, when the world's number one hero or former number one hero, uh, just like he just bows down to you and says that you need to be the next symbol of peace, that that literally means that you're a special person. You aren't like a you aren't like any other hero out there. You are a really really special person, and especially especially when your career was about to be on the line, and it's just basically it's a huge deal, you see, when it comes to somebody who's you have admired for all your life, and you plus that person bows down and says that to you. It's a huge achievement, as well as it's a very emotional moment for you. And that's basically what happened in this episode with Midoriya, and how All Might basically he literally begged for Midoriya to come back. And I remember I made a point in, I think so, episode 6 it was. I made a point that All Might, he's gonna be not All Might, but Koda. He was gonna be really important person, and keep an eye out for him. And this is what I meant by keep an eye out for him. Kota was the first ever person to acknowledge Midoriya as his hero. A person who hated quirks, a person who hated heroes, a person who just hated this unnatural superpower world. He he admires Midoriya more than anyone, I think so, in the whole series, just because of the simple fact that Midoriya saved his life, even though Midoriya treated him so badly and everything, and not Midoriya but Koda treated him but so badly, and yet this man who doesn't even know what Koda is like. He doesn't know anything about him. He just knows few things about him. He basically saved someone's life, and now he's admired by that person. And now it all comes down to this one single letter which he sends to Midoriya, and that saves basically Midoriya's career in a way, because remember what Midoriya's mother was saying, like she didn't want Midoriya to be a hero. Like, looking at his injuries, and his he how he cannot use his hand again if he ever goes beyond his percentage limit, which is, I think so, as of right now his percentage limit is max of 15%, I think so. That's his percentage limit. So at this point of time, you see his hands broken and everything, and you just imagine to yourself that why would I send my own relative to a place where his life, or his or her life, is always in danger. It's always That's just basically how it goes. And that's basically what Midoriya's mother's point was. Like, she wasn't ready to send out her son to a place where his life was always in danger, and that's one thing you can see in this episode. Now, whole point of that was second half was what I just basically explained in the first 4 minutes of the video. Now, going back now, we also see how the symbol of peace, now the symbol of peace is gone. The pillars that were like the pillar, he was a pillar that was containing that bar of a villain. You know, like he was the one who the villain were afraid of, who the people could depend on. But now that he's gone, it's pretty much like there is nothing you can do about this whole situation. You just can't do, and you literally can't do anything about this situation, because the symbol of peace is gone. The villains are being more bold to make their moves now, and also the people will be dubbed into heroes. Because remember, All Might, before All Might came along, there was still heroes, but there were doubts in people's mind. Like, how would this hero be capable of fighting against villains of this caliber and everything? Like, there was always that doubt. And when All Might came along, that doubt where people were like, "Yo, this villain is not this villain is dangerous or anything." All Might is there to take care of it. Like, that was the people. That were what the people were thinking during that time. And now that the symbol of peace is gone, people will obviously have Maya doubts in their mind, because somebody who stood to be number one hero, he's basically gone. He's no more, and it puts people under the impression that, are they safe under the other heroes or not? Because All Might, again, symbol of peace and everything. That's the reason why he was there. He was holding the pillars, the pillars to people's doubt. One side he had people's doubt. One side there were villains who were scared to act because of All Might. So now that both the pillars have crushed down, he like he's no more symbol of peace. Both the pillars are just crushed down now. There's no people adopting. One's will be bold. So that was the point of the first half. Now, the next thing that we could talk about is the how UA was just going. UA was making sure that nobody could feel like because the symbol of peace is gone, that uh, that means that people will be in danger, and that's why they're moving the students into the dorm, so that basically they can stay with each other, where UA can protect them. So that's the thing. Next thing is, we get a look at Jiro's parents, and yes, Jiro's parents are, if I'm correct, her mom is a guitarist. No, his father is into rock music. I don't remember the mom that well, but I think so. Her father is into is a guitarist, like a rock band or something like that. So yeah, that's basically Jiro's parents out there. And then the we also get to look at Bakugo's parents. I really like Bakugo's mom, because just low key, like, she's just such, I like her, like, as a character. She's definitely she's definitely somebody who could, oh, she's definitely somebody who could be dangerous. Anyways, not to go too deep into that, but I want to go into territory where Bakugo talks at All Might again. Why Bakugo is going to be such an important character in this season. Basically, it just shows that Bakugo who wants to know more about Midoriya. You see Midoriya, in a way, you see him in the previous episode too. At the end of the episode, he's looking at Midoriya, is like, "Yo, there's something wrong about this whole thing. There's something wrong about this whole ordeal that's going on here." And that's what happens with this episode too. Baku pretty much asks All Might, what is Midoriya to you? Like, is he somebody? Is he something special to you or something? Like, he already knows that Midoriya is special to All Might, but he doesn't know in what way or shape or form. Like, what is that to mean? He also got the message. He also understood the message in a way, like, because he definitely saw Midoriya in the previous episode, if you guys know. So in a way, he also understood the message that Midoriya, All Might was pointing towards Midoriya. So that was another point, and you see that in a way, Bakugo, as soon as he asks All Might is like, "Yo, he's just a student. He's just a student to me." And you could also see Bakugo just being like, "Yeah, you don't need to tell me if you don't wanna, but thank you." Like, that's just basically his thoughts right now. And All Might is pretty much, he can't tell, because obviously all for one, not all for one for all, because if one for all just like gets released, like, everybody will be going after Midoriya, because obviously his hair. If you guys remember, this was said in season 1 or season 2, I don't remember that well, but it was said, I think it was season 1, when All Might gave him his quirk. He basically said that. So yeah, that was basically what the whole point of that conversation between Bakugo and All Might was. So that was basically this episode of My Hero Academia. All over, this episode was also quite good. Like, this was, I think, so this episode I felt like it was better than the last one. Like, don't get me wrong, the last one was marvelous. Like, it was amazing. Just to see All Might finger, just showing his finger and being like, "You are next." Like, amazing. Like, every single thing that in that episode was just amazing. But this episode, in a way, it's storyboard point of view, in a way of what's going to happen in future development ideals. I think so. This episode was better than last episode in those terms. Obviously, no fighting in this episode, but in story point of view, yes, this episode was better than the last one. So let me know what you think about this episode of My Hero Academia. Let me know what you think about the whole Midoriya, All Might, and Midoriya's mother's conversation. Let me know what you think about Bakugo Midoriya's conversation, and not Bakugo Midoriya, but Bakugo and All Might's conversation. And I'll see you in the next video. As always, peace.